215 points in one goddamn week. You like that?
First time ever put in 200 up?
Nope.
First time ever?
Nope.
Maybe.
Nate Chandler, good, huh?
I'm in deep shape.
Sean Johnson.
Got an injury concussion in the first quarter.
Nice.
18 out with an injury now. I mean, I can't really talk. James Conner out 4 weeks, so I'm kind of fucked there, but
it's true.
Welcome back, Tiger Rock Sports fans. We're here with another Tiger Rock Sports podcast. Well, we're through 5 weeks. The season's going by so fucking fast. I mean, I felt like we were just here doing our podcast in the preseason, talking about week 1 and the expectations of our teams. I mean, don't think either of our team have lived up those expectations. Cowboys definitely had bad performance, but I think it's easy they can bounce back from it. Giants, there is no bouncing back from the performance. I mean, we can go on and on about it. I think everything you said last week was right, and I'm going to bite my tongue and say Giants fucking suck.
I have no comments until we get to those games. Cardinals at Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a team of expectations both being higher than expected for both teams. Obviously, the Rams, Booker emerging, Conley emerging. Sean McVay, if anyone questions, Sean McVay is not a great coach. You shouldn't watch ball at all. You are delusional as fuck. And I think the Cardinals defense is surprising a lot of people. So I would predict that the game is going to be close in the first, and then the Rams kind of take control as McVay learns what Cannon's doing.
I don't think the Cardinals really stand a chance, especially since they have no offense.
I mean, I agree with that, but at the same time, I think their defense has held them to the game.
I think after the last 2 weeks, the Rams are ready to explode. I think with Cooper Kupp back, it's going to be a complete blowout by the Rams. Commanders, Falcons, one of the shitty games of the week.
It's just too mediocrity.
Texans, Falcons was shitty, exactly as I expected. Just running the football.
Yeah, it's two mediocre teams. I mean,
mediocre.
Same thing. I say it differently, my bad. Fucking do bad though.
Ravens, Titans. It's gonna be a gritty running game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like this game, especially because you have two teams that have played well, but also have expectations in the playoffs. So this will be a battle of two playoff potential teams, and I mean, I think the Ravens come out on top, but it's going to be a hard-fought match.
I think this is one of those games where the over-under is going to be pretty high, and it's going to be the under because they run the ball the whole game.
I can see it. It's going to be with your running back, the QB. But
Giants at the Bills.
It's crazy how the Giants came into this season with five primetime games, or 4 primetime games in the first 6 weeks. Thinking the Giants would be good, the Giants had a great season, and now I don't even fucking think they should be on primetime. This game shouldn't even be a thing. This should be a 1 o'clock game. They should move it before it blow out by the Bills again. And I'm watching a primetime game thinking I want a good football, and it's Bills 34, Giants 6, and then in the third quarter.
When I think of the New York Giants in 2023, you want to know what I think of?
What?
Bipolar. You want
That's
to know why bipolar? Let's start with me. I bet on the Giants how many times? Just because I believe that they had the caliber to maybe be a wild card playoff team.
Probably 3.
To maybe be a wild card playoff team. Now, Giants fans it's week 5 and they're already saying, "Oh, we might get Caleb Williams." I don't want Caleb Williams. No.
That's retarded.
First of all, who wouldn't want Caleb Williams if you're a New York Giants? It's the fact that you're not getting them.
Well, I don't want him because we just signed Daniel Jones. What the fuck's the point of that?
Daniel Jones will go garbage. That's why you want Caleb Williams.
I agree, but if you think about Giants fans, you pay Daniel Jones all this fucking money.
Bipolar in the sense that you probably had some of the best coaching last year, and you probably have the worst right now.
It's bad.
Worst coaching I've ever seen.
Dude, it's bad.
Your offensive line coach still has a job for what reason? Daniel Jones has a neck injury because you guys can't fire your offensive line coach. Carolina Panthers at Miami Dolphins. This might be worse than the 70-20
Yeah, it's
loss at the Broncos.
this is gonna be a brutal fucking game. Panthers fans, close your eyes.
Vikings at Bears. This one's just became interesting simply
Yeah.
because they're all the talk this week about Justin Jefferson not playing again this year, Kirk Cousins getting traded, and the Bears getting hot with DJ Moore and Justin Fields.
I mean, that connection is proven to be lethal. I mean, you've given Fields a weapon, obviously, and be able to pass the ball and utilize that number one receiver he has. You can only hope that that is going to be a high scoring game. I do think that Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne are still very valuable receivers for Kirk Cousins points out.
Real quick, I'm gonna go off the script here. I'm just gonna skim to the game that we're looking for because I want to talk about the playoffs actually. Dallas versus the Chargers.
Of course.
That's the game I saw. Obviously, you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
I mean, I don't think there is really much to say about the Dallas Cowboys because your expectation going into the year was you had, to probably be honest, one of the best rosters in all of football, starting from your O-line to your QB to your secondary to your linebacker. You had a great fucking lineup, and obviously injuries have hurt. I think losing Trayvon Diggs obviously played a huge factor against 49ers. I think Jerome Bland is a very solid QB, but when you have two playmakers like Debo, Ayuk, you have Kittle and McCaffrey, like Diggs was a factor in every part of the game. He wasn't just a factor guarding Debo Samuel. Like he stepped up and made a tackle on a running back. He helped second on the tight end if he needed to. Like he was a big time playmaker. He ran out the ball and made plays. So losing him hurt. No, that's not a fucking excuse for the performance the Cowboys had. It was bad. And I think you kind of mentioned to me after the game, Dak has an issue. Dak is a player that he makes a mistake, and he makes a mistake once, it could snowball because he lets it happen. I think he made poor decisions throwing the ball. Now, it could have been an offensive scheme, it could have been what they're trying to do, but he made poor decisions. And I think you got to get the ball to your playmakers. You have playmakers on offense. You probably have arguably a top 5 wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb and arguably a top 5 running back at 20 Pollard going this season. And you're telling me that they're not getting the ball and producing very well? I just don't think it's a good playing scheme to not get those guys the ball. And that's all I got. So you got honest take. I want you bias.
I think as I'm trying to be as humble and as loyal as a Cowboys fan as I can be. I actually don't think Dak Prescott is the least of the problems. I think Dak Prescott is near the bottom of the problems for the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Oh, I agree.
Everyone wants to easily put it on him, obviously, which is fair.
Well, you have to. That's how it is.
There is no quarterback in the NFL. I don't care who you are, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, that was going to lead that team the way the game plan was playing out for the Dallas Cowboys. With the players they had around them, put any quarterback in that same situation, there's no quarterback winning that game.
No, I don't want to say agree with that, but I can see it
There's
happening.
No quarterback winning that game.
One thing that you also made a point on, obviously, just in general, the Cowboys always have an air on the back of America's team. So Dak makes a mistake, it's you got to get rid of him, no matter what he does.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Burrow didn't score an offensive touchdown for 4 weeks, and everybody was saying, no, it's the calf, it's the calf, it's the calf. Dak Prescott throws for 3 touchdowns and 150 yards, and America's like, oh, he only threw 150 yards, he sucks. He throws 1 interception, oh, he sucks. Josh Allen, if you don't remember correctly, came out of the season in a game against the Jets, threw 3 interceptions, and all of them went to the same guy. So nobody talks about that, though. They just talk about Josh Allen.
No, I agree.
They talk about Josh Allen scoring 30 fantasy points in a loss to the Jaguars, but they won't talk about how the Bills are also 3-2 right now. They won't talk about how the Ravens are 3-2 right now. They don't talk about all that. They just love talking about the Cowboys, and it's fair. That's what you get when you're America's team and you make the NFL the most money.
I mean, so, I didn't doubt.
I do think the Cowboys have a problem, and I think their problem is the play calling. It starts with the play calling on offense. I think the play calling on offense has been absolutely abysmal.
Do you think the play calling is better than it was last year?
No, I think it's same, if not worse, than when it was last year. And Tony Pollard looks slow, and he's not the same player he was last year. And he's near the bottom of the league. And I said it going into the season, Tony Pollard is not going to be as efficient and not as good when you make him the primary starter. He's not a starting running back. He's not a bell cow. He's a game breaker. He needs to be, he's not a physical back. You need someone to break the defense, and Tony Pollard's going to shatter the ice. That's what's going to happen. Ezekiel Elliott cracked it. Tony Pollard shattered. That's what happened. That's why the Dallas Cowboys running game was so good. They don't have that bruising running back anymore. And that's one of their biggest problems on offense. That's why they can't score in the red zone. And then you go to the passing game. Jake Ferguson, I think, has looked great. But Michael Gallup is not, he's lost a step. He's number 3, fine. Brandon Cooks, you got him to be a deep shot. You're not taking shots downfield. So what was the point of bringing him in? Get a slot guy. Get Hunter Renfrow in there. If you want to throw those short passes, get the ball out quick, get someone like that. Brandon Cooks is not that guy, and you saw that in the first interception. The Cowboys offense isn't meant to do it. The way Mike McCarthy calls plays, not meant to have a deep shot guy like Brandon Cooks. I don't know why you went to go get him. And then you go to the biggest problem, CeeDee Lamb is not touching the ball. Yeah. There's no reason CeeDee Lamb should have less than 5 catches in the game at most. At most. No less than 5 catches.
I mean, I think the best way to look at it, you look at players like Johnny Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, all the number one, like no matter what it is, if it's a screen pass or it's a 1 yard pass and let them do the work, like give him targets, give him the ball. You have a playmaker on offense, you get him the fucking ball, and I don't care what it is.
And then you go over to the defense, and like now you lost Trayvon Diggs, which obviously was a huge loss because, to be honest, when you had Trayvon Diggs, sure, he'd get a lot of yards, but quarterbacks were thinking in the back of my mind, if I throw out Trayvon Diggs, there's a 40% chance he's going to pick it off.
I think it was more than that, though. He made impact all over the field.
And in the first game against the Giants, you saw he was tackling more, he was making more plays. But the quarterbacks were thinking, oh, he's a corner. If I throw a Trayvon Diggs, there's a better chance than anybody in the NFL it's probably getting picked off because he's a ball hawk. Now you don't have that. Are you necessarily scared about throwing at Stephon Gilmore? Maybe, but he's lost a step. He's not the same. Are you scared of throwing at Deron Bland? No, you're not. You're probably not. And now you go up against the 49ers that have all these weapons. You got exposed. When you don't have that ball hawk, no one's afraid to throw your corners. You just expose that your safeties aren't able to cover a solid tight end like George Kittle. And they stopped. The one thing I took away, they were able to stop McCaffrey. But to be honest, they only got, 2 solid quarters of Christian McCaffrey because it was a blowout. So, I mean, you stop Christian McCaffrey, but that defense got exposed because they did not play with heart. The second the game got to 28-10, that defense gave up.
But I don't want to discredit the Cowboys at all because obviously I think they're still a playoff team. I don't think
they are a playoff team, but they're going to get in the playoffs at 9-8, 10-7 this year. Because if you lost that way to the 49ers, you lost 42-10 to the 49ers. You still have to play the Eagles twice. You have to play the Bills. You have to play the Dolphins. You probably have a couple more games that are going to be tough in there. And they're already at 2 losses.
I mean, I think that defense is going to be pissed off. I think Parsons is pissed off and Lloyd's pissed off.
I'll tell you what, I'm picking the LA Chargers this week. That's all I know. That's my lock of the week is the Chargers. Yeah. Lock of the week. They're going to be 3-3 going into the bye.
And then you got to hope something turns around because if that's the case,
they're going to be 3-3 with all hell breaking loose in Dallas going into the bye. I'm telling you right now. I will throw $185 that the LA Chargers win on Monday night.
Very well could happen. So not denying that factor at all. But I don't think everything is breaking in the Cowboys. I think Cowboys still have a bumpy road going forward, but then they can get through it, obviously, I think. Like you said, get them the ball, things happen, and then let that defense just figure shit out and work. Dan Quinn's a great defensive coordinator. He will figure it out, obviously. It wasn't what you wanted to see, but 49ers have always been a dominant team with Kyle Shanahan, no matter who's backing them at QB. So I think it's a great head coach.
Playoffs. Obviously, I think after what we saw this past weekend, Eagles probably win the NFC East. I think it's fair to say that the Lions got the North.
I agree. I thought.
South. Saints, Falcons, Bucks. Still not anybody.
To be honest, no. I'm really not. Because there's 2 things. One, the Falcons have played good. But their offense is stagnant. It comes and it goes. The Bucks, you're riding Baker Mayfield, but how long is Baker Mayfield can keep this up? I don't think he's over QB, but he makes mistakes, and the mistakes are costly. You saw the Browns. Saints, they just look. They don't look good. They look like they're just hanging around in games. I don't see blowout plays. You have Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. You have playmakers on defense. Make plays. Show them why you run the NFC South and not selling shit. I think I saw one game where they really proved it. Yeah, they beat the Patriots. But like still, Patriots aren't that good, but still, like your offense isn't exploding on all levels. You need more if you want to be a playoff team and be a good playoff team. So to be honest, I think the Panthers are just as much in it right now as everyone else in that division. Because it's a battle. The Panthers make it now. But as of right now, the White Sox turned it around. The defense is good enough to beat the NFC South team. I think they probably have 6 more games against them, at least 5, to take care of business.
I think it's the Saints division. I think their offense looked a lot better and their defense is pretty good.
It has, but I mean, it still hasn't. I mean, if their offense slows down, and the Falcons come in and the defense plays good.
I don't think Desmond Murray is good enough to take them to the playoffs. I think
it's not that though. It's not. It's if they're 10-9-8, it could be a 9-8 division or 10-7 division.
I think you go if you take 7 teams. I don't think. Let me look at the NFC right now. I think division winners, pretty convincingly and pretty confidently, I'm going to say are Eagles, Lions, Saints, and 49ers.
I was like confident with standing.
So I would say 50-50. That means you have 3 spots left for. I don't think the Vikings and Bears are in it anymore.
No.
So you take them out. I don't think
Cardinals aren't in it.
I don't think the Panthers are in it anymore. So they're out.
I don't say anymore in that division.
They're 0-5. They can't lose more than 2 games.
You're right. All right. So the Panthers are pretty much out, but still, the Panthers get shaking up.
Cardinals are 1-4. They're pretty much out.
Yeah.
So that leaves 3 spots. Commanders, I don't think are in it. They're out. Giants are out. So that leaves 3 spots. That leaves 3 spots for the Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, Falcons, Seahawks, and Rams. So 3 spots, 6 teams. So half of them make it.
I mean, if I'm being honest,
I don't think that the Packers make it.
I agree. If I'm being honest, I think the one team that is a guaranteed bid in, I mean, you would fucking hope, is the Cowboys.
You would hope.
And then
you would hope.
Another team that we were high on going into the year, I would think the Seahawks will make it again. Obviously, that defense has played better.
So
it's between
Packers. Hold on, you got Packers, Bucks, Falcons,
and
Rams. That's 4 teams. I think you said Packers are pretty much out, but they have a good team and they're well coached. So
I agree. I mean, it's gonna come. I don't know. Well, who would you say? I mean, I think it could be a battle. If I'm being completely honest, between the Bucks.
I think if the Bucks. I think if Baker stays playing the way he does, I say Bucks.
I agree.
But
I think right now I'm convinced he's the Rams.
Yeah. I disagree. I'd say Bucks. I give it to the Bucks.
I just don't trust Baker late in the year.
Because if you look at the Rams schedule, they're 2-3 right now. Let's go through the Rams schedule real quick. 49ers, they probably won 3-3. Steelers, do you say they win?
I actually win that for sure.
4-3. Cowboys, 4-4. Packers, 5-4.
That's a big game.
5-4. Then they're on a bye. Seahawks, 5-5. Cardinals, 6-5. Browns, 6-6. Ravens, 6-7. Commanders,
7-7.
7-7. Saints, 7-8. I think they lose that game. Giants at the end of the year,
8-8.
8-8. 49ers, big game, 9-8. So they have a possibility, but
it's all there. And I think AFC is briefly talking about the AFC. Obviously, NFC is more of a battle. I think AFC we kind of eventually put some teams in there. Obviously, you have the AFC West led by the Chiefs. I want to say, AFC East again. I think that could go down and go to a Dolphins. We don't know at this point. I would love to say the Dolphins, but I just think the Bills have the experience. I think Josh Allen is going to come back from whatever has happened. I mean, they lost 2 games. They lost 7. It's 2. So I think the Bills would pretty much win the AFC East. Then you have a team like, what's that team? AFC North. Ravens. The Ravens pretty much have that. If the Bengals really turn it around, I mean, that's been Joe Burrow's story. And then what else big ones here now? Help me out here. The AFC South.
AFC South.
Colts, Titans.
I think
that can be anyone's game.
I think you got the I mean, it's pretty easy. Dolphins. I think it's the Ravens or the Bengals. I mean, AFC's hard. I'm not even getting to that one. So
I mean, there's a lot of teams in the AFC that can make it, but
Chiefs, Chargers. That's two right there. Jaguars. Then you have Ravens, Bengals. Browns are 2-2. Steelers are 3-2. Like, who knows?
I'm gonna say right now, I think Steelers are a great team, but I just don't see them making the playoffs, especially going up against their AFC opponents one more time. And now, if they can manage to take care of the AFC, their division, the AFC, they very well have a fair shot. But if they can't, I don't see a way in where they're going to make a big impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so much going on this week. We have so much coming up in store. And post coming out this week. Big thing in store next couple weeks coming forward. And we're just excited for this fucking season. I mean, fantasy hasn't got my way right now, but we'll bounce back. You know, when you were last week, gotta hope it keeps up. And anything else?
That's it.
With that, we got Tiger Sports out.